Have you heard? It's truck news.
No. The Truck Show. We're gonna show you what we know. We're gonna answer what the truck. 'Cause truck rhymes with the Truck Show. We have the lifted, we have the lowered, and everything in between. We'll talk about trucks that run on diesel, electricity, and on gasoline. The Truck Show, the Truck Show, the Truck Show. Oh.
It's the Truck Show with your host, Coleman.
All right, welcome back to the Podshed and the Truck Show podcast. Have you heard? Truck Show podcast is proudly brought to you in partnership with AMSOIL, the maker of the best synthetics and the same ones we use in our rigs. Did you know that AMSOIL is more than synthetics? They also make some of the finest lubricants, greases, additives, filters, car care products, and yes, even merch. The current promotion is free shipping when you spend $49 or more by using the code FREESHIP. And for those of you that spend $100 or more, you can get yourself an AMSOIL padlock by using the code LOCK826. Both codes are good until August 11th. We use AMSOIL products to protect our rigs, and you can do the same by heading to AMSOIL.com or by using our link at the TruckShowPodcast.com website and going under the Featured Products tab. If you want to treat yourself to the latest in adventure, gear, and upgrades for your vehicle, go to OVRMag.com and use the code @TruckShowPodcast for a discount on print or a 1-year digital subscription for free. The Truck Show Podcast survives off of sponsorships and your reviews. Please help me to keep it free by supporting our sponsors and leaving reviews and comments on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Have you heard? All right, let's get into it. So the Rumblebee pricing was announced this week, and I think it's pretty much in line where we thought it would probably be. The base 5.7 Rumblebee will start at just $59,995. However, there is an enormous destination fee on all these vehicles of $2,790, which brings the entry-level Rumblebee price to $62,970. Now, if you want to step up to 470 horsepower with the Rumblebee 392, that's going to be $69,995 or $72,790 with destination. And then the Rumblebee 392 Track Pack comes in at $79,995 or $82,790 with destination. So that gives you the non-supercharged 470 horsepower 392, but it gives you some of the goodies of the top dog Rumblebee, which is the 777 horsepower version. Has the TRX's 6.2-liter supercharged V8, and that hits the deck at $94,995, so sub $100,000 with destination is $97,790. Those prices compared to the RHO at $74,995 or $77,790 with destination, or the TRX at $99,995, and that's $102,790 with destination. So that essentially makes the 170 mile per hour Rumblebee the new affordable way to access 777 horsepower, with it coming in at $5,000 less than the 118 mile an hour TRX. So I don't know about you, but I think we have a new Hellcat Charger replacement.
Wow.
I was going through the list of all the drivetrains that you can get. Dude, it's crazy. Ram is really trying to make a truck for everybody. So you can start with the 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 e-torque. That's $305,269. A 5.7 Hemi, $395, $410. That would be the one without e-torque. That's available on the Rumblebee. Then you have the 5.7-liter V8 e-torque version, $395 horsepower, same. 410 pound-feet of torque, same as the e-torque version. Then you have the 6.4-liter Hemi V8, so 470 horsepower and 455 pound-feet of torque. Then you have the 3-liter twin-turbo Hurricane standard output, 420, 469. Then you have the 3-liter twin-turbo Hurricane high output, 540 horsepower, 521 pound-feet of torque. And then, of course, you've got the 6.2-liter Hemi Hellcat V8, 777 horsepower, and 680 pound-feet of torque. Let's just go through the horsepower walk here. You start at 305 horsepower, then you move up to 395 horsepower, then you move up to 420 horsepower, then you move up to 470 horsepower, then 540, then 777. That's a pretty awesome lineup of powertrains and engines, but man, that's a lot of build complexity. Ram's got a lot of good stuff going on. I know, I just bought one, and I love it. Now, here's one from Fox Factory. They're making vehicles left and right, but instead of the street truck performance stuff, they decided to put together the AG Wagon. And so the AG Wagon is essentially a Ram 3500 or 2500 that instead of being built for overlanding and off-road performance is built for farmers and ranchers. And it's actually kind of cool. It's got a different vibe than the more performance-oriented vehicles that they do, and it's got a lot of great equipment. So basically, they thought of people who are dealing with pastures and fence lines and hayfields and remote job sites. And so this upfit was meant to help ground clearance, give you better lighting, better recovery gear, storage, worksite convenience. But it's not designed to be a toy. It's designed to be a work implement, although the interior is pretty nice. So, I mean, it's not like they're skimping on comfort. But you start with a BDS heavy-duty front suspension and lift components, and you get Fox 2.5 Performance Elite shocks, which no surprise there since they're owned by Fox, both of those companies, obviously. But what they've done is they've tuned it for a longer, slower suspension stroke and the added weight from farm and ranch use. So it's not really designed for hitting the whoops, but it's designed to be comfortable and capable around the backcountry or your back 40, I guess you could say. And it also includes 18-inch Method wheels, 35-inch BF Goodrich HD Terrain TA tires, great tire. And then on the recovery and lighting side, you get a Warren 15,000-pound winch with a Factor 55 Ultra Hook. And the steel bumpers aren't just for looks. They're built to work and are tight into the chassis. In their own right, good recovery points as well. And then the AG Wagon can be equipped with Nacho fog lights, and then you can get front bumper light cannons, rear-facing lights, pillar mounts, work lights, ditch lights, headache rack lights. So you've got it covered for all your lighting needs around the vehicle. And there's also a bedside cab-mounted Molly, heavy-duty headache rack, as I just mentioned, Rockslide Engineering pack-out mounts, mounted axe and shovel storage, Rotopax tanks for diesel, DEF, and or water, and then you've got a rack mount for Starlink Mini. So basically, it's a remote work truck. It's pretty cool. And you can also get an ARB twin compressor that has a underbed 2-gallon air tank for doing tools and things like that, and even the bed has a compact reel. So I like it. I think it's really nice. And on the inside, you can get leather seats with it. You can get a GMRS rugged radio and some other things like that. So if you want one, you can go to a participating dealer, order it up. And the package is backed by a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on the upfit components. And then, of course, the original Ram factory warranty still applies. So pricing on this will start at $112,515. So you guys have probably heard about the REO truck. That's the startup in Texas, and they want to do a simple truck that comes to market at just $21,500. We've been watching this one a little bit from the sidelines, haven't talked about it much, but maybe it's time to get the CEO on the show. They're starting to make a little bit of noise, but as with all startups with big dreams and affordable products, you're a little bit sensitive to, are these guys for real? But according to The Drive, founder and CEO Zach DeBernardi said in an interview he wants REO to be the affordable American truck. Gas, mechanical, body on frame, engineered to run 500,000 miles, built in Texas, sold direct. And he goes on to say every new car startup in America is electric, while 90% of American buyers are not. Those companies raise record money chasing a fraction of the market, and every American EV maker except Tesla now sits billions in the hole. We exist because of those failures, and we build for the everyday American who simply wants a vehicle that works. So REO hopes its truck will have about 1,200 pounds of payload, 4,500 pounds of towing, 25 miles per gallon, and a curb weight of around 4,200 pounds. And it seems like potential customers are responding because for the first 6 days reservations were open, he took in 5,500 orders. And you've probably heard that Trump pardoned another 9 diesel tuners that had been charged with deleting emissions equipment. And the first one was back in, I believe it was November. And then on the eve of Independence Day, he granted clemency to another 6. And these are all people that had prison sentences or hefty civil penalties and like criminal fines. Like this was a big deal. So he said during an Oval Office news conference that these cases came to his attention because he noticed, quote unquote, they were arresting people for fixing their car. And he added, we rule by common sense. So, of course, he's talking about DPFs and EGRs and defeat devices and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, Troy Lake's the one that got pardoned. He was the owner of Elite Diesel Service in Wyoming. And now Joshua Davis, Matt, I guess it's Gouge, Jonathan Achtemeyer, Tim Clancy, Ryan and Wade Lalone, Barry Pierce, Aaron Rudolph, and Mackenzie Spurlock. So we're still waiting to hear from some of the other names in the industry if they're going to get pardons as well. But I'm sure these people are breathing a little bit easier for having those pardons. And whether you agree with deleting or not, it's a tough situation to be in when you're under the scrutiny of the government, especially when you know that the equipment being put on these trucks makes them less reliable and more difficult for the user and more expensive. So it'll be interesting to see where all this settles out once the EPA rulemaking continues. So but we'll keep you apprised of these things here on the Truck Show Podcast. All right, before we end this episode of Have You Heard, I think we need to do a few quick hits.
Quick hits. Quick hits.
So the non-eTorque Hemi might be coming to other models. Right now it's only on the Rumblebee for 27, but rumor has it that it may enter some of the other trucks as well. So you may be able to get a non-Rumblebee, non-eTorque Hemi in another vehicle, maybe later in 27 or maybe for 28. Ford's new affordable EV pickup truck is going to be swapping Google for native Apple Maps. So Apple fans can rejoice everywhere that their favorite mapping software is going to be native to the new Ford EVs. And Hyundai is once again considering a luxurious Genesis badged pickup. So we've been talking about the Hyundai potentially called the Boulder midsize pickup and other body-on-frame vehicles that could be on that platform. And it sounds like Genesis is thinking about making one for the luxury crowd. And here's one to keep your eyes on because it definitely goes right at the heart of us. And after decades of declining numbers, pedestrian fatalities have been increasing since 2009. So the New York Times and the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety got together, and they say thousands of deaths would have been prevented over the past 16 years if cars had not grown so significantly in both height and weight. Of course, when they say cars, they are looking at large pickups and SUVs, especially heavy duties. And so the Times report says, after analyzing federal industry records, including never-before-examined data on vehicle dimensions, we found the rise of large pickups and SUVs is an important factor. Our estimate is that 200 to 400 pedestrians a year would not have died if vehicles had remained approximately the same size over the past 25 years. That represents about 10% of the recent increases in pedestrian deaths. And then there is an estimate that 3,000 deaths from 2016 to 2024 are attributable to vehicles with higher hoods, and pedestrian deaths have not only increased by 75% since 2009, but there's also a correlation in fatalities. So anyway, interesting dive in here by Byron Hurd over at The Drive. So if you want to check it out, it's the article entitled 75% More Pedestrians Have Been Killed Since 2009. Giant trucks and SUVs are a major reason. So make yourself informed. I have a feeling that that's a topic that's not going away anytime soon. One last thing before we go, let's cover the recalls.
Check engine light just went on. Noise under the hood takes like a bomb. Recall covers metal, glass, leather, and plastic. Door handle pulled off in my hand. Just fantastic.
Well, here's one that's not quite as fantastic as a door handle just pulling off, but Ford is recalling. I know. Ford is doing so well, and then a big recall comes. 566,000 Broncos are being recalled.
Whoa! That's not right.
So apparently exposed wiring can result in an arc that lights things on fire, and nearly every current generation Bronco is being recalled. So there's a wiring harness that can become exposed and it causes a short, and it affects 565,691 Broncos. So that's nearly every one since 21 through current. And it also includes the Bronco Raptor. So Ford was investigating this in June and it identified 7 Bronco Raptor fires and 8 base Bronco fires that may have started in the passenger side of the engine compartment. Then it inspected over 80 Broncos and then found evidence of a wiring harness that was chafing on the engine compartment. And it revealed that excessive movement and insufficient protection is what the cause was. So Ford's aware of 15 potential incidents related to the issue, and 10 of which are legal claims. So the fix is going to be take your Bronco to the dealer. They have a free repair. They'll fix the issue by adding convolute sheathing with abrasion tape to the engine compartment wiring harness. And if this is happening in your Bronco, be aware because you may experience smoke in the air vents or gauge cluster warning lights. This is what the article says. before seeing flames from the passenger side engine compartment area. Whoa, dang. They said there's no mention of injuries or accidents related to it, but this is the 60th recall for Ford so far this year. It's recalled over 11 million vehicles. And I know we were talking about it being around 565, 691. The total Bronco population to date of this announcement is 589,860. Those were how many Broncos have been built through June of 26. So if you've got a question, take it to your dealer and they can get your Bronco fixed up, because we certainly don't want to lose any of our Truck Show podcast listeners to things that can be fixed in a recall. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the Truck Show Podcast. Have you heard? I appreciate you guys joining me. You can always follow us on social at Truck Show Podcast or at Sean P. Holman, or leave a message on the 5-star hotline and be part of the show, 657-205-6105. And, of course, don't forget to use the code FREESHIP or LOCK826 by 811 when you buy your AMSOIL products. And go to the Truck Show Podcast website and use the featured product drop down and use our link, because that'll give us credit back to the show. If you're going to buy the AMSOIL, please do it there. And, of course, OVR Magazine. If you want a free subscription to our digital library or a discount on print, you want to use the code at Truck Show Podcast at OVRmag.com. And don't forget to please leave us a 5-star review. All right, that's going to do it, and we'll look forward to doing it again real soon.
The Truck Show Podcast is a production of Truck Famous LLC. This podcast was created by Sean Holman and Jay Tillis, hosted by Sean Holman, and uses production elements by DJ Omar Khan and Jay Tillis. If you like what you've heard, please open your Apple Podcast or Spotify app and leave us a 5-star review. And if you're a fan, there's no better way to support the show than by sharing it and patronizing our sponsors. Some vehicles may have been harmed during the making of this podcast.